Have you ever bought something and at the time you thought it was such of a good idea, but only a few days later you wondered to yourself,
"Oh my gosh!"
I have been very careful where I spend my money in every purchase that I make. But sometimes I just don't think things through as much as I should, and from that I just have a bad time. So today I'm going to go over some of the dumbest financial decisions that I made in my 20s, exactly how it happened and how you can avoid making the same mistakes. So before I get started, I make videos on ways that you can save, make money, and all things related to your finances. So if you care about your money, go ahead and click that red subscribe button until it turns gray, and that way you don't miss anything. So the first mistake that I made was purchasing a car maintenance plan. I went out to buy a new car and I had made up in my mind already that I was going to get a good deal, that I was going to talk down whatever car that they offered me. So the car that I wanted was $24,000. I was able to talk it down to $16,000. Then I went on over to the finance office. They began to add on little thing here, little thing there for the car maintenance plan that you can get unlimited oil changes whenever you need them. We will do X, Y, and Z for an additional $38 a month. So with all of the add-ons and the $38 a month, I was right at about $48 a month. So I was like, $48, that's not really a lot of money. So yeah, let's go on and throw that on there. The original price of the loan for that $24,000 car ended up being $23,000. And let's not forget that I was paying interest on that. So technically, I was paying well over $24,000 for that car that I made up in my mind before we walked into the doors that I was not going to pay full price for that car. So I really could have avoided this mistake by doing the math and not getting caught up in the moment and sticking to my original plan and goal. So another dumb money mistake that I made in my 20s was purchasing a timeshare. My wife and I, we took a trip down to the Bahamas to just celebrate life. When we were down there, we went to an island that didn't have much going on. So we went to the shopping center and someone at the counter at one of the stores was telling us that they would like to take us on a free tour of the island. So my first question to that person was, what's the catch? So the person behind the counter assured me that the only thing that I had to do was listen to their no obligation presentation. So I looked at my wife and said, what do you think? And my wife said,
"Well, there's no obligation. Let's give it a try."
They took us in the van and we went to the resort, and then they began showing us around. They showed us different rooms. We went to a conference room and they sat me down and said, "So what do you think of the property?" I wasn't trying to hear anything they were saying. I was just pretty much there to get the free tour. So I got quiet. My wife started talking to the people about some of the things that she saw, and I'm nudging like, okay, remember we have a tour. We have to get back to the cruise ship in about 3 hours. So I went on and asked that person,
"So what is the price that we're talking about today?"
And he said, well, for the vacation package that you can come whenever you want to, and promised all of this stuff and pretty much said it was $50,000. I looked at him and said,
No, 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 no.
They got down to nearly $30,000 and they went down this whole list of things that sound too good to be true. My wife looked over at me and was like,
"Baby, this is such of a great deal, only for $30,000, and we can pay this off in about a year."
I thought I was signing a mortgage, but not knowing that I was signing up for a $30,000 credit card. And why this was such of a dumb decision, first I should have went with my original instinct.
No, 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 no.
And the thing is, not knowing that I was signing up for a credit card versus a mortgage, I couldn't get out of it. So I was not able to get my money back off of this. So there's a property down in the Bahamas that I was paying for where I couldn't really stay at without ditching out over $1,000 more. And I could have really avoided this whole situation by going with my first instinct and not being pressured into signing something that I originally did not want to sign. So another dumb purchase that I made in my 20s was buying a $900 necklace and bracelet set for a girl that I just met a few months before that. So Christmas was coming up and I really didn't know what to get later, I went to the mall and I was just gonna do some window shopping to get some ideas what I wanted to get this girl. And someone approached me in the mall and they said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "Just shopping for my girlfriend." They said, "We wanna show you some stuff." Got there and they start pulling out all of this stuff. In my mind, I was like, my max for spending on this girl is about $50. They start showing me all of this stuff and white gold this, white gold that. And I kept saying,
No, 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 no.
so then they pulled out this white gold necklace and this white gold matching bracelet with a heart on it. And they said, "What do you think about this?" And I said, "It's okay." Then it started glistening at me and I was like, "Oh, wow, that's really nice." And I said, "What's the price of that?" They were like $2,000. And I said,
No, 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 no.
"No way am I going to spend $2,000 on a girl that I just met." Somebody else came out of the bathroom. It was this lady and she just started smiling and talking to me and I start smiling and talking back. And she's like,
Oh my goodness, if my boyfriend ever got me something like this, I would love him so much.
she started sweet talking me and I was being dumb like, they were like, "What can you do?" Now that's the mistake because then I let them know what was in my pocket. So I told her the truth. Like, I don't want to spend more than $50. I have $50 cash on me.
Well, what else do you have? You have cash, but do you have cards?
Yeah, I have cards.
I end up paying $50 cash into 4 different credit cards in order to pay $900. I could have avoided this situation by using common sense, not being suckered into somebody flirting with me to get money out of me. But the good thing about this story, at least I end up marrying that girl 3 years later. Another dumb money mistake that I made in my 20s was financing a $3,000 vacuum cleaner, which I end up paying nearly about $5,000. So a vacuum cleaner representative came by the house to give us a demonstration on their product. While they were talking, they were just vacuuming the floor, having conversation with us, trying to show how much dirt that this vacuum cleaner could get out of our carpets and also our hardwood flooring. I don't like going around the bush, so I went right in for the kill. I asked this person, this seemed like a good product, how much is this product? And they went on to say that it was $2,900. I looked at my wife like,
No, 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 no.
and my wife looked at me like, and I knew there was no way in the world that I was going to pay $2,900 for a vacuum cleaner when I could go down to Target and get one for like $100. However, as the person was talking about allergies and things like that, I started thinking like, okay, this might be a good product. Which I got suckered into buying a $2,900 vacuum cleaner. But the bad thing is, not even that was a dumb decision, I financed it. So at the end of the loan, I paid over $5,000 for this vacuum cleaner. So after purchasing the vacuum cleaner, about 2 days later, I called the company to return the vacuum cleaner because I slept on it and I was like,
Yeah, that was a pretty dumb purchase.
after talking to the representative at the company, they told me if I would keep the product that they were throwing extra freebies that all amounted to about $50. Right after I was out of the contract period to return it, I found the same product online for about $500. So I could have avoided this purchase by doing the research before the presentation, shopping around and not taking the first price that was thrown at me. And most importantly, not to fall for a $50 add-on when I'm paying thousands of dollars. So another dumb purchase that I made was buying a new car. But it wasn't just buying a new car that was the dumb purchase, it was the type of car that I got. So before I purchased a new car, I was driving a Nissan Altima. Yeah, the air conditioning didn't work. Yeah, it knocked off from time to time, but it was paid for. Who cared? It was to the point that my wife did not ride in the car and she didn't want me to take my daughter out in the car. So after a while of being convinced that I need a new car because of all the problems,
And I also had nearly 300,000 miles on it.
I went to the dealership to purchase a new car. So when I got there, I wanted something small, something that would save gas. So someone came to me and said,
Well, you would look so good in that Chrysler 300.
I mean, it was a clean dream car. It had tinted windows, it had nice rims, it even had a little lizard that was stuck in the brake light. That's a whole different story. I took the Chrysler 300, didn't do any research on this car, didn't know the gas mileage, didn't know anything about this car. I went and got a gas guzzler, where I was originally putting in the Altima about $35 a week. I started putting nearly $70 every single week in gas money in this car. So I could have avoided this mistake by doing research on cars before I got to the dealership and not just going to the dealership saying,
well, I don't know what I want.
because when you go to the dealership and you don't have your mind made up or a price point, that's when something inside of the salesperson's head go, ching ching. Because they will begin to talk you and convincing you into a car that you never knew existed. So that's my short list of some of the dumb money mistakes that I made in my 20s. What are some of the dumb money mistakes that you made? Leave those in the comment section below. And for more videos on ways that you can save, make money, and all things related to your finances, click over there and I will see you in the next video.